Hey guys, I'm glad you're here. Today I just want to tell you a little bit about myself, about my story. See, I've had points in my life where I was very obsessed with food. This is what drew me to dietetics and nutrition in 2000. We didn't know a lot about intuitive eating at the time, and I personally knew nothing about it. Now, I base my practice on these principles because they resonate with me so deeply. I began to have my first obsessive thoughts around food and body that I can remember in middle school. And in high school and college, I was interested in all things healthy. And my mother was one that was on and off diets for most of my school age years that I can remember. In high school and into college, my eating became very disordered. I also started obsessing about exercise a lot. I got married during this time as well, and within the first 3 months of marriage, I was assaulted by a home invader that nearly beat me to death in my own home. But I was able to fight him off. I called for help. I just remember feeling like it wasn't my time to go. And so I talked with the Lord, and I remember telling him, all right, God, you have a purpose for me. You have me here for a reason. I'm just not sure what it is. And during the next few months, I went to a lot of therapy, many court appearances, and I had to face my attacker twice before he was finally sent to prison. Through that time, I was under a lot of stress and I naturally lost a lot of weight. And I remember talking to God about my situation. And running became something that I did because it was something that made me feel strong. And when I felt unsafe at home, I would find myself outside going for a run. I wanted to help people with nutrition. I wanted to learn everything I could about health and fitness. I started training for marathons in the early 2000s, and I've met so many of my friends today through running. I have great memories of races and people that I'll never forget. And even though I graduated and I became a dietitian, I still found myself feeling very out of control around food in my 20s and into my 30s. My relationship with food definitely had improved since college, but I would say post-college and in my young professional years, it was still pretty bad. I had a high-stress job in sales and I traveled a lot, calling on hospitals and other dietitians like myself. I was very obsessed with my body and I was focused on the scale. I was very, very hard on myself, both personally and professionally, and I battled thoughts that told me I wasn't good enough. I realized I wanted to start a business when I was driving across South Carolina in 2013, and again, I had another conversation with God, and I asked him, what is my purpose here? What is it you want me to do? It was on this drive across South Carolina after my conversation with him that we decided upon the name Pantry Doctor, because I knew I wanted to help people and I knew that I could use my knowledge to do so. I wanted to help people physically through food, but honestly, it wasn't until 2018 that I realized the real issue was that I wanted to help others heal their relationship with food, and that had to start with me. When I first started my practice, I focused on weight management. When I look back at social media posts and blog posts and education materials for clients when I began, I see that it was very focused on losing fat or losing weight. I talked about resets and bikini body programs. If you go back in my website, you'll probably find some. It took me a long time to get here. I'm a non-diet dietitian, and food relationship expert, and I'm proud to say that I'm an undieter. But hey, I did what we were all taught in school. I went to school to train people to get healthy, yet I wasn't ever taught about weight bias. I created meal plans and ebooks on how to detox, but most of all, I used a scale in my practice. I now know that discriminating someone for their weight is so much more harmful than just eating a French fry. I did my clients a huge disservice, and I'm sorry for that. I had all the knowledge of macronutrients and micronutrients and how they are metabolized in the body, but what I didn't know was how to relate to my clients and what they were going through. As I passed out meal plans and bikini body workouts and the years went on, I realized that I wasn't seeing the results that I'd hoped for with my clients. They might do well for a little while and then fall off the wagon. They'd beat themselves up and be afraid to talk to me about what had happened. My outlook really changed after I dug into the research on a book called Intuitive Eating and Health at Every Size. I began to apply the research and the principles with my clients, and I realized that all the years that I've been giving my clients these meal prep plans along with my reset ebooks, I've been leading them down the wrong path. I was a victim of diet culture. I had been manipulated by diets pretty much my whole life. Despite my best efforts to be a dietitian, no one was able to maintain those unrealistic lifestyle changes, and in fact, many of the practices were causing some of the gut distress that I see in most of my clients today. I realized the traditional approach just didn't work for clients long term. Everything I was doing with my clients was focused on things that were external validation, not internal cues. My clients didn't trust their body to signal when they're hungry and what they should eat. And when I began to teach my clients my new framework to food freedom based on the principles of intuitive eating, things finally began to shift in my practice. When I began practicing using a weight-inclusive paradigm with my clients, they finally began to heal their relationship with food and their bodies and find the food freedom that they'd always been looking for and create those positive habits from a place of self-care, not control. Now I'm really proud of the work that I do with women, and I am so grateful and honored to work with each and every one of you that come into my programs. And it is and will continue to be my mission to help you break free from your limiting beliefs that are holding you back from everything you were created for. Cheers.